Hello, welcome to Slaying the Craft, the show where we go inside the mind of thriller writers. I'm your host, Sabrina Thatcher. I'm an author, book coach, and podcaster, but most of all, I'm a fanatic of the genre. I am so excited to introduce my guest today. She's one of my most favorite people. V.S. Lawerence grew up in Utah, being scared of everything. Now she puts her fears on paper, writing spooky books that feel like Scooby-Doo chase music, which is amazing. When not writing, she can be found buried in a horror novel, wandering aimlessly, or cuddling with her dog, Rigby. She is still scared of everything. Welcome, V.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yay! So glad that you're here. So fun, side note for the listeners. We met in 2022, the beginning of 2022, when I first started my Instagram. And for whatever reason, we just happened to connect. And then V was the first person to ever read anything I'd ever written that was fictional, just a random person on Instagram. It was amazing. And now here we are, years later. You've got 3 books out. We've been to a writing retreat together. Things are happening.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, so awesome.
It's been amazing. And your writing, I still think about that scene you sent me. I was like, this is so good and I need to know what happens.
What happens is it died in the trenches.
I feel
that. Okay, so tell me, you've got several books out. One that you released last year or the year before called 80s Ghosts.
Yes.
And then recently Chalupa Cabra Y2K, which I'm obsessed with. And then also Friends Like These. Will you tell me about your books?
Yeah. So 80s Ghosts was my first that I felt was worthy of putting out. I've written a few before that I was like, oh no. No. These will never see the light of day. But yeah, so 80s Ghosts came out last year and it's done so much better than I ever expected. It still is wild to me that it's been doing that well. And it is basically it's a light horror paranormal mystery set in 2009, but with flashbacks to the 80s. So
nice.
Kind of fun, nostalgic. And With Friends Like These came out in April, and it is a girls' camp slasher, kind of more YA, and drawing heavily from some of my own experiences at girls' camp.
So I just want to put a note, because not everyone knows what girls' camp is in particular. So why don't you explain it?
So I grew up in the Mormon church, and all the young women aged, I think it's 12 to 17, they get to go to a big camp out in the middle of the woods and just do all sorts of fun things. And it's very based around religion. But there is a religious aspect too with Friends Like These. It's not the Mormon church exactly. It's just religion.
Yeah.
And yeah, I definitely drew a lot of personal experiences that went into the book.
It had to be very cathartic.
Yes, it was.
Let me get through some of this. Hilariously. So my fam, I've told you this before, my in-laws are Mormon. For some reason I was watching something and it was about girls' camp and they were doing this song and it was like, I love my Mormon boy. Yep. He is my pride and joy.
He knows most everything from Alma on down.
I was like, oh, Mormon. Okay, anyway.
Yes, that was on frequent rotation at camp.
Yeah, I highly suggest if you've never heard it, I would highly suggest YouTubing that girls' camp song. Anywho, let's talk about your book. Okay, so Friends Like These. So it's these girls, they go to this camp and then it's a slasher. So what happens?
We just start finding bodies.
Okay. As you do. As you do. Camp.
As you do. And there's a bit of a supernatural element to it. The main character, Kenzie, she has gone to this. She's a sheltered, homeschooled girl. She's gone to girls' camp for the first time, just hoping to make friends. And so in an attempt to make friends, she decides, hey, there's this really cool old ruined cabin out in the middle of nowhere. Let's sneak out middle of the night and say some Latin words, because that never goes wrong.
That never goes wrong. That's
Never.
always a good idea.
Yeah. So they do that, and that's after that is when the bodies turn up, and she has to figure out who she can trust in the camp, and who's behind all these killings. And it's a bit of a twist at the end. A lot of people don't see coming. Some do, but I was
I
proud of
mean,
myself for coming
that's
up with it.
amazing. So, what excited you most about this story? Why did you choose this one to write?
This one was unique because up until this point, I have been a pantser, like hardcore pantser.
Mm-hmm.
80s Ghosts took me 2 years to write because I was making it up as I went.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and with Friends Like These, it came to me like almost fully formed. I wrote the most detailed outline I have ever done, like chapter by chapter, bullet points of everything that was happening. And I got a little stuck on the ending. But after a couple of days, I actually was listening to my favorite band, and there's a song, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know exactly how to end this.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing when that happens.
I
It's
know.
incredible how inspirational music can be to like just get your brain churning on an
Yes.
idea or like finding that breakthrough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it just came to me fully fleshed, and I wrote it so fast because I had the whole thing like so solid in my brain.
Yeah.
Um, and I think part of it was also that it was very cathartic to write about a sheltered young girl trying to find friends, because that was my experience growing up.
Yeah.
And so working through that and writing a friendship that I wish that I had had when I was
Mm-hmm.
young it was a lot of fun and very
Yeah.
healing.
I bet it is. And I think that that's amazing. Probably also helped for your character if you have that correlation to understand what was going on in her mind and motivations and things like that. Because that can be a little bit challenging to come up with when you're
Mhm.
like trying to figure out things.
Yes.
Uh, okay, so you did an outline, a detailed outline. I would love to hear more about that. Like, how many drafts did this take you to write once you had your outline? And how long did your outline take you to come up with?
The outline, it took me about 2 days. It
Oh,
was,
wow.
yeah,
Okay, so this
like
book came fast, huh?
it came very fast. It was like I had a particular scene that sparked it all, where the main character is running through the woods and she's being chased by who she thinks is the killer. That was the idea that sparked the whole thing, and then I just thought about it, and I sat down and just it
Yeah.
all just kind of exploded onto the page. The first draft took me 3 months to write, and then I think it went through 2 revisions. I sent it to an editor. I did those revisions and made a few more tweaks when I was reading through the proof copy, because
Hmm.
there's something about getting the book in your hand, like in book format, that you're like, oh, I actually don't like how this looks in a book. So I made a few more rounds of edits just as I was reading the book, changed it. And so I think total, oh gosh, it's kind of hard to say because sometimes I would edit like 4 chapters
Yeah.
and then start again. But yeah, I'd say at least
Okay.
5 rounds of edits to some degree.
Yeah. That makes
So,
sense. That makes sense. Plus your rough draft and your outline.
mm-hmm.
So that's a lot. I think it's so like it's really valuable to hear what the process is for people, especially that it takes like it is multiple iterations.
Yeah.
And I think I know if I can speak for myself as like as a new writer, it's like, oh, this can't be that hard, right? Like everyone thinks that until they actually get into it and they're like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
actually this is a thing.
Yes.
But it's helpful to know that it does take more time. Like your first draft is not going to be the thing that goes out. You're gonna have to
No.
work it and work it and work it and work it.
It's
Yeah.
so true. It is so true.
Yeah. What was the most fun part of the story for you to write?
It's gonna make me sound terrible, but it's a slasher, so that I don't think this will be much of a spoiler. But the bloodbath at the end,
Nice.
that was I was having a whole lot of fun taking out some revenge on these mean girls.
I always thought you were
Um,
going to say camp counselors, and I was like, listen, no judgment. You do what you got to do.
yeah, the counselors too. That was very satisfying. Everyone who has read this is like, oh my gosh, Robin is the worst. I'm like, she is. She
Yeah, you're
really
like,
is.
absolutely. Okay, so the bloodbath at the end, like the kills, basically. Isn't that
Yeah.
like what is the most fun about doing these types of books anyway? It's like you're kind of playing with an idea. Like that's this idea of like our darker shadow, our darker
Mhm.
selves, where we're like allowing that to come out and
Yes.
play, and
Mhm.
it's fascinating.
It is. It's a nice safe space to play out some things.
Yeah. So what do you want your readers to walk away from this book feeling?
Ooh, I guess understanding that like friendship is very important and it will help you get through a lot. Having a friend who's just loyal and will stick by you through everything. Just like hope for friendship and also the idea that you can accept who you are, even the darker parts of who you are. And it's not always a bad thing.
Yeah.
So, which will make more sense when people read it.
Which is so you've self-published these, so we'll talk about that for a little bit, which is different than most of the guests that I've had on have been traditionally published. So kind of talk about like what's the difference between, well, what do you go through, and then maybe I can like highlight what trad publishers maybe go through. Trad published.
Well, it's it's a lot of work.
It
I mean,
is.
I know trad is super hard and a lot of work as well. It's a very different set of
Mhm.
problems.
Yeah.
Um, but you have to learn a lot. Like I've had to learn how to format my books' interiors, um, and how to market, which I don't know what I'm doing. I just throw things out there and
It's working. It's
it's
working.
working.
It's working. You should definitely make sure you check out our Instagram. Just like it's fantastic. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, I just, it's learning how to market, how to format, how to do self edits, how to make yourself sit down and put in the work. It's really trying to balance everything on your own.
Mhm.
It's and it's really important to try and find other writers and people in the industry who are in the same boat because it is very solitary. Um, and for the first year and a half that I've been doing this, I was kind of keeping to myself. And yeah, it gets very lonely. And recently I've been working on making more connections with other indies and trads, and it makes the whole process a lot easier just because it's like, oh, I'm not alone in all of this
Yeah.
craziness.
And also just to be like, hey, have you ever formatted with this tool before? I
Yes.
cannot get this to work. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
just things you get from work colleagues that you
Mm-hmm.
don't get when you're a writer, just because it's so solo.
Yeah.
So how much time do you think that you spend writing versus working on everything to be able to sell your books?
Oh, I'd say the writing is 30% of
Okay.
my
It's
time.
most of your time is being spent on the other and the like pushing it
Yes.
out,
Yeah.
formatting.
Pushing it out, formatting, updating back matter, which is the worst. That's like the worst part, in my opinion. Just like, it's so exciting having a new book out, but it's like, oh, now I have to go and change everything else, add it in. It's a pain. But yeah, it is a lot of updating your website and
Yeah.
emailing people, bookstores, and all
And so
sorts of
you're
things.
also working through for your own distribution as well, right? Like,
Hmm.
so you don't do you, I'm assuming you don't have like a box of books in your house, do you? Or do is it print on demand or you do have books that you're shipping out?
Yeah, it's print on demand, but I have my own stock in my house. Not a whole lot. I usually do like 10 to 15 books at a time unless I've
Yeah.
got an event. Because I do have an Etsy store, uh, and I do go to do some signings on occasion. So I keep some in my house, but for the most part, it's all through print on demand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. And so something that you recently did was get some translation, or not translation, but like get it into audio, right?
Yes.
Can you talk about what was that process like?
Okay, that one was that was kind of unique because they approached me.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
I know.
Congratulations. Oh my
Yes, thank you.
God.
I thought it was a scam.
Yeah, I would have thought it was a scam too. I've been like
I
a
log into my
link.
email. Yeah, I open my email and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? You want to acquire audiobook rights? This has got to be. So I Googled and I was like, no, this is the real Tantor. This is the real Tantor Media. So we did a little back and forth and it happened.
That's amazing.
It really is. I was very fortunate. Like, I am aware that my journey has been incredibly fortunate. And I don't know why.
I think it's because you're a good person and you work really hard. Like,
Well,
there's a lot to be said about that. Like, I mean, you're constantly writing, you're constantly trying to network, you're constantly trying to do these things. And I think it doesn't always mean what you put in is what you get out, because we know that there's a lot of things
right.
in this industry that's luck. But if you're doing all the right things, when the luck comes, at least you're already doing all the right things.
It's true. It's true. I also will credit my cover. 80s Ghosts cover has
Oh
been
yeah.
doing so much of the heavy lifting. It's so good. But
It is so good.
yeah.
So tell me, why are you writing the dark and twisted? Like, what drew you to this genre versus writing women's fiction or romance or whatever?
Um, I have been fascinated and very into the spooky side of things ever since I was a child.
Hmm.
Um, even though I am simultaneously terrified of everything. Uh, I think it's actually my way of working through a lot of those fears in a safe space
Hmm.
because, yes, I'm scared of so many things. I am just a bundle of anxiety, and that doesn't, it goes away when I'm reading or writing the horror. I'm
Yeah.
dealing with it, but I'm not scared.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that's part of it. It's also just such a fun genre to write in. Um,
Yeah.
you can do so many crazy things.
I mean, so let's stop a second and let's talk about Chalupa Cabra Y2K, because I mean, that sounds like it's a pretty crazy thing. What's that about? What's going on there?
That book, okay. It's basically a little bit of a passion project. I it's about a chalupa that
Is it a
comes to
Supreme
life.
Chalupa?
It becomes one, yes.
Oh, great. Good for it.
Yeah, it's about these 30 and 40-year-old people who work at a taco shop and they're closing up one night, they're bored, they're burnt out, and they decide to assemble this chalupa and throw it into an air fryer, or not an air fryer, that's modern. Um, throw it into the deep fryer
Okay.
that has been broken since January 1st because it's the year 2000 and it fritzed the computer. And
Oh, the Y2K. Ah, got
yep,
it. Got it. Got it. Okay.
it broke this high tech, amazing fryer. And so it's been sitting there with the grease getting disgusting and not cleaned out for like months.
Yeah.
So these people are just like, let's just assemble this crazy chalupa and throw it in the nasty fryer and see what happens.
Yeah.
And so they do that. It's disgusting. They leave. And when they come back to the shop the next morning, it is a disaster. Like there's claw marks everywhere and hot sauce packets,
Walmarts.
hot sauce packets that are drained. And they realize this is not a spoiler because it's what it's about. The Chalupa Cabra is on the front of the cover. They realize that this thing, this chalupa they've made, has become sentient, I guess, and is now a monster that is terrorizing the local fast food joints. Um, and they have to stop it at the big chili cook-off that's happening in the center of town.
Oh my God. This is
And
amazing. So,
it's
like, this is what you can get away with in horror that I feel like you
yes,
can't, like, in a mystery. No one's gonna read about a chalupa. become a chalupa werewolf thing.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh
So
my gosh. Okay.
it was really stupid, but I I actually started outlining it for a submission call for a YA
Hmm.
horror series. And so that was the initial thing. But then when it didn't happen, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take these kids, make them adults, and we're going to just make this a book because it's so stupid. And I was cackling throughout the entire outline. Like,
Well, that's the thing, and like it should be fun. You should be having fun with this. I think that's
mm-hmm,
something. When I spoke to Brian McCauley not that long ago, he was saying the same thing about writing horror. Is that he's like he has fun with it. It's like he
yeah,
gets to laugh at like what's happening at the ridiculousness. So you get to like
yes,
really lean into the camp, which I think is
yeah.
pretty amazing. Um, yeah. How long is it? Is it a full novel? Is it or is it a short
No,
story?
it's
Novella.
150 pages.
Okay. Okay.
So it's just a short little break between the heavy stuff, which I think
um,
is necessary. You know,
yeah.
everything is very heavy right now, and sometimes you need a little bit of ridiculousness to lighten things up. And
Yeah. Remember to laugh.
yes,
Remember, like, you know, that there's other things. It's a tough time right now for I think a lot of
hmm
people.
yes,
Um, okay, so you've been writing most of your life?
on and off. Yes, I wrote a lot growing up. In grade school, I was writing a ridiculous amount, and when I hit like college age, I stopped reading and writing. Uh, just life,
It
you know.
happens. I think you're just like getting out and being an adult for the first time. It's very like, yes, I don't have time
Yeah.
for books.
hmm Yeah, and it wasn't until 2021 that I was so burnt out. I went to a cabin in the middle of Vermont, like just in the middle of nowhere. And when I was out there, I was like, I think I'm gonna write a book. and and I came home and I did, and that one I think it's a good story, but it's one of those it's like this is never going to go anywhere. It reignited the love of writing.
Hmm.
And so came back and just started churning out the words and having a
That's
great time.
amazing. That's so awesome. And in that amount of time, you've released two books and a novella, a short story. I mean, it's pretty impressive. Um, so I'm curious if you could teach a new writer one thing, what would it be? And can you teach it to me right now?
I can try.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if my advice, and I'm gonna have to think on this for a second because I don't know what I know. Like, I think it's you have to have fun, and if it stops being fun, you need to stop and look and reassess what's not working. I think there's so many projects that I have halfway finished or like two chapters done, and I stopped enjoying the story
Hmm.
and I've just abandoned them. And I think that that's one of those things that you need to become okay with, that sometimes a story that you start is going to be so much fun at the beginning, and then you realize that it's not, and you
Yeah.
can leave it, you can abandon it, you can come
Yeah.
back if you want to later, but it is okay to throw things out.
Yeah. I mean, it's important to know like that's how you learn the difference between so this is something I've talked about previously is that I always wonder is like is this not the right book or is do I just not know my process and like this is part of the process and am I like, messing with that? And I think that you have to go through those instances of like okay, I'm just going to let it go to
hmm
see if it really is that process. And then if you find in a pattern that you continually not completing okay, then you need to probably reevaluate
Yeah.
that process. Otherwise, though, I totally agree with you. If it's not working, if it's not fun, if you're no longer enjoying the experience, like your readers are going to know that too.
hmm
And if it's like you have a bad day, everyone has bad days, but
Yes.
if you're consistently coming back to the page and just like, ugh, Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If it just becomes a grind where you're like, I'm doing this because I feel like I have to finish this, not because I want to finish this,
Yeah.
it definitely does translate. I've read chapters where I'm like, oh, I was clearly struggling and did not enjoy what I was doing, and then I have to scrap the whole thing.
Yeah. But then you have the ones that are amazing, like that you love, and then you have just so much fun
Yes.
with, right? So,
Hmm.
all right. So we're going to move into the rapid fire questions portion of the interview, which is not rapid fire at all. So feel free to take your time. I don't know why I'm calling it this. I really got to change the name. Listeners, if you have an idea of the name I can call this, that would be great. Thanks so much. All right. First of all, what's on your desk?
Oh, a mess. I've got a stack of books, some mine, but mostly others. I have candles. I think 5 candles that are pink and one that smells like the forest. And I right now I have a plushie. If anyone out there knows the band Ghost, they are my favorite. And they make plushies of the lead singer who is known as Cardinal Copia. Well, that's one I have. It's a whole thing. But
It's a whole thing.
it's a whole thing. So I've got a little plushie of Cardinal Copia, and I have a neon heart light.
Oh,
Yes.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Is it pink or is it a different color?
It's
It's
pink.
pink. Goes with
Yeah.
your candles.
Yeah.
All right. What ritual, if any, do you have before or after you write?
I have to make a cup of coffee or go and get a cup of coffee. Coffee and breakfast, and then sit down and just go.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So do you like, are you doing this full time? Like you start first thing in the morning and you're doing this all day? Like yep.
For the most part, uh, for the most part, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Um, there's the summer has been not great creatively.
Hmm.
So I've been focusing more on the marketing,
Yeah.
but I'm
That
getting
makes
back into
sense.
writing. So I write in the mornings, take a little break, and then I try and do the marketing in the afternoon.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Also, just like kind of on a sideline. So this, when I asked this question, it reminded me, you've got one of those typewriter things,
Yeah, the free
right?
write.
The free write. Can you talk about what that is?
Yes, it is a distraction-free writing keyboard thing. It folds kind of like a laptop, but there's no internet connection. It doesn't underline typos. It's just a little screen that shows you about a paragraph and a half of what you've been writing. And it fits in my purse, which is the best thing. And I am highly distracted. Um,
Mhm.
when I'm writing on my laptop, I'll be like, oh, well, I'm just going to go click over here
Need to
and check my
Google this.
email.
I need to check
Yeah.
this. I need to,
Mhm.
there's an email that came in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then before I know it, I'm just like doing absolutely nothing. And it's, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So it's, the free write has been really useful for me, especially when I travel. Um, because I dropped my laptop down the stairs, so it's kind of broken and I don't want to, I know.
Oh,
So buy my books. I need a new laptop. Um,
no.
just kidding. Just kidding.
No, but for reals.
But for real. Uh, so it has been really useful it's so easy to take around, and also not getting distracted by previous stuff, because I'm also tempted to go back and edit
Hmm.
as I'm writing. And
Yes.
it's really difficult to do that on this free write. So for
It
me,
helps
it's
you just
been,
like you have to move forward. It
you
kind of
have
sounds
to,
like maybe like for drafting, that would be just like a really good tool so that
yeah.
you can't do that going back over
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
over again.
Yeah. It's great for drafting. It gets you really into the flow state because you're not zipping
Yeah, it's
around
just
everywhere.
whatever's happening is what's happening. You'll edit it later.
Hmm.
Nice. Okay. Very cool. So if you are writing multi POV or multiple timeline, do you write straight through like the reader reads, or do you write each section and sew them together?
Um, I haven't written one until right now. I'm actually working on one of those, and so I am learning this as I go.
Yeah.
Uh,
How's it going?
it's going okay.
It's
I'm
kind of
writing it.
harder than you might think, right?
It
Like
really is.
it's switching a voice in your head. That's what's hard
Hmm.
about
It's
it.
so hard. And then you finish one chapter and you're like, wait, where did I leave this lady?
Uh-huh.
You gotta
Mm-hmm.
go back. So I've been writing it straight through as it would be read. Um, just because I think I would lose track of everything.
Yeah.
Because this one is a dual narrative, it's not dual timeline. So they're experiencing the same event on different
Yeah.
sides of the country.
Oh, that
So
makes sense. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. What is the most bullshit piece of advice you've ever heard?
I would say to avoid self-publishing.
It's true. It's been very successful for people. And also, you have like total ownership. Like, what was your decision in going down that path versus pursuing an agent and the other path that's hard as well? They're
Yeah.
both hard. They're both hard.
They
But
are both hard and they are both valid.
yeah,
A lot of people still have the idea that self-publishing and indie publishing is a fallback. It's, plan B because you failed.
hmm,
Um, I started out trying to decide which route I was going to go down because I thought maybe I'll try trad, maybe I'll do it myself, and I just couldn't decide. And finally, I just decided like I need instant gratification.
listen, it's real hard going this other way. It's just nothing but rejections and like no gratification, no
Yeah.
nothing.
And then even if you do get it, it's like a year or two before the book actually comes out. Um, and at that point, I was like, I'm so sick of these characters. And I'm ready to be done with this book. And I think that it should go out. So I decided in the end, like, I think I'm going to go self-publish before even trying to query agents or small presses even.
Yeah.
I just felt like I will try this way, and it has been successful. Like, I think a lot of people really do think that it's a fallback, and
Mhm.
it's not. It's not the easy route. It is equally difficult. There's just different
It's
challenges.
just different what's hard.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
mean, there's how many people have we've seen I've heard so many authors that are trad published and they're getting nothing from marketing. They're getting no other support. They're doing it all themselves anyway.
Yes.
So I think that there's definitely value on either, like both sides are completely valid of which
Mm-hmm.
direction people want to go in.
Yeah.
And it's becoming more and more like not maybe accepted, but just like that not everything that's going to be self-published is crappy because that's like there was a
Yeah.
long time where
Yes.
it was real bad.
It's true. And
But
there's
now we
still
have
a
people like
lot.
you who are just like really coming at it from a professional angle and like trying to do this.
Trying.
You are. What is the best piece of advice you've heard?
Oh, this one's kind of interesting. So I mean, I'm assuming I've heard it from a lot of people. We all have like our best ideas in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
Someone told me get those like those shower markers for kids.
Okay.
So, and keep them in your shower. So when you do have those ideas, write it on the wall of your shower.
Yeah.
That way you don't lose it.
That's so smart because
And
you have
it'll
the
clean
best
right up.
ideas and you're like, I gotta write this
Yeah,
down.
exactly. Like I've had so many shower thoughts. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the solution to this entire book. And then you lose it because you don't
Yeah.
have anywhere to write it down. So just get those like not waterproof, but the shower markers for kids.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I love that piece of advice. Um, what is the darkest idea you've had that scared you about yourself?
Mm. Oh gosh, that's a hard one. I have I actually just finished plotting out a new book that I think will be my next release. Where I do, not on page, but it is heavily implied that a baby is killed by a parent.
Oh, oh
Yeah,
man. I
yeah,
mean, it does happen.
it does happen,
So
and
not ideal, but
no,
yeah,
it's
that's
not.
kind of dark. Were you like, I gotta sit with that one for a minute?
Yeah, I was like, I know that this has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in this book that's just, it has so many like things, and that's the only way to move this forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I feel like people will not like that, but I think I can handle it in a way where it is not
Yeah.
explicit. It's just like
The
it's
losses
heavily
thing.
implied.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Um,
that's pretty heavy. I would probably have to sit with that one for a minute too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, am I okay doing this? I'm like, oh, yeah.
Woods.
I'm trying to. My problem is that this book that I just plotted, it has a very similar.
Yeah. What part of the process is your favorite?
uh, Well, I love the writing. I love the plotting. Um,
Mm-hmm.
as a person who did start out pantsing and was like, ew, plotting. Um, realizing that plotting actually does work,
Yeah.
and it's actually a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because you get the condensed story and then you can start fleshing it out as you start writing. And I was really surprised that plotting really is one of my new favorite parts of writing.
Yeah. I think it's so much fun too, because that's when you get to, when you're really taking the time, if you're plotting, to say, okay, this happened. And so what is going to be the results of that? And then how do I turn that on its head? Like that's the time when you actually get to think about it a little bit more. When you're pantsing, you can totally can do that. I've done that as well. But
Hmm.
it's harder because when you make a change, then you've got to go back and make a
Yeah,
huge change versus like you're still playing with it and you're like, okay, I can turn this idea on its head this way without having to. It doesn't always work that way, right? I mean,
right.
yeah. What part of the process is your least favorite?
I hate editing.
Yeah.
I I hate it. I balk so much when I know that it's time to start a new round of edits because I'm like, oh, it's just I don't know where to start.
Hmm.
Even now, even though I've done it a million times, I'm still just like, this is a huge mountain and I have to move the entire thing. And I have to remind myself, like, no, just a little bit at a time.
Yeah. Are you
That's how you
talking
do
about
it.
like your like big like developmental edit, or are you talking about like your copy edits?
The developmental stuff, like the very
Yeah.
first read through where I'm like, oh,
I got to change all this.
yeah. It's like, how am I supposed to cut 3 chapters that I felt were important, and now I'm realizing they're not, but now I need to bridge this gap in an effective and efficient way.
Right.
Ugh,
It
it's hard.
is. It is. Uh, okay. What is your old school favorite mystery, thriller, horror?
Ooh. Well, if we're going old school like mystery, I love all of the Poirot,
Yeah.
Agatha Christie's Poirot books. They're so fun, and he is just such a fantastic detective.
Yeah.
If we're going horror, I love I love Freddy Krueger. I love the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.
Nice. Nice.
It was so much fun, and I recently saw, I think it was the fourth one. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was the fourth in the theaters when they did a re-release. And it was just a blast. So he's such a cool
He is such a
cool
cool
idea.
character. He really is.
Hmm.
I think it's really funny. I saw a trailer for, it's a sequel to a movie, and this is like so completely opposite of what the movie was, and I can't remember what it is, but it literally looked like it's like Freddy Krueger kind of 2.0,
Ooh.
where they're falling asleep and then they're getting attacked in their sleep or whatever. And I was like, that's cheap.
It's like that's been done.
It's been done. I mean, here's the thing, it's been done with an iconic thing. So it's not like
Yes,
it's just been done. It's been done
right.
with something that's iconic. So
Hmm.
that makes it a little bit like you're always going to end up going up against like that kind of comparison. But
Exactly.
I cannot remember what it is, but I remember liking the first movie. Maybe it was, maybe it's Black Phone and
Ooh.
Black Phone 2. I think it is. And Black Phone 2 is like totally different.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Here's where we're at. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my dear friend, thank you so much for joining me today. I
Yeah,
had such a good
thank
time
you.
chatting with you.
Same.
Where can people find you and find your books?
My books are wide. They're also on Amazon and my own Etsy store. My website is okay. You're gonna have to give me a second because I might get it wrong. It's bslawerence-author.com. Pretty sure.
Perfect. And then it'll be down below in the show notes for wherever you're listening or watching. You can
Mhm.
find it there. I definitely suggest checking that out. If you'd like to find me, you can find me on Instagram at Sabrina Thatcher Author. And if you want more information about my book coaching services, which I think are going to be pretty awesome, you may want to do that. You can visit crimeandquill.com. And until next time, friends, stay sharp and right twisted. Bye.